Okay, let's concentrate on the red flower. Okay, but when I get close on this, I didn't like your pixelization to begin with. So look at how that's very pixelated right there. Okay, so I'm going to leave it like this. We're going to go to image and image size. Okay, we're going to take, instead of showing this in pixels here, your machine may show it in inches, so I'm going to show it in inches as well. This is 13.8 inches at 72 ppi. We should make this more like 8 inches, okay, at 300 ppi. Now, keep your eye on the pixelization above this window, okay, and then I'm going to come back to it. So when I click OK, and that's what I want you to do, 8 by 8 at 300 ppi. So wait till it's done. Okay, now let me go to the same thing and look at how much smoother that is. Okay, so that's what I want you to do first, and I'm going to save the file. 8 by 8 at 300 ppi. Never work at 72 ppi. Okay, that's way too pixelated, even if it was 13 inches wide. So you made, look up here, you have your whole flower path, so I'm going to make it a selection each time, but before I do, I want to get the flower next to the flower so I can see what I'm doing without having to turn on the clicky copy all the time. So I'm going to click to the clicky copy. I'm going to hit the M key for marquee and change it to the rectangular marquee. And then I'm going to make a real confining picture here. Let me go to quickly transform selection, hold the shift key so I can do one edge only. Okay, and now I want to take, I'm hitting the return key. Now I'm going to make a quick little copy of that, but I'm not going to keep it little. I may shrink it a little bit, but I'm going to go Control J. And now when I turn this off, you can see how I have that picture. So I'm hitting the V key, and I'm going to put it right above here. And I may even put it right below, so it's the below one. Okay, so I want to use, I want to have this so in case I want to use the eyedropper, I can't. So each time, and I'm turning on the clicky copy again, each time you see something like this, try to break it down into 5 or 6 colors. So let's talk about the colors. There's a light red, a medium red, a very dark red, there's a gold color, a brown color, and this light color. So that's 6 colors. So let's just build it as we go, okay? And you can see what I've done here in the flower right there. See it, the flower? I've made F1, F2, F3, F for flower, 4, 5, and I'll even make a 6th one, anticipating that I'll need a 6th layer. So I'm going to save the file again. So we're going to be doing F1, and I'm going to save F1's color. Let's save, just for giggles, the color you've already painted. So let me turn off the clicky copy. I'm going to put it way down here, right there. So let's, now I don't have to play with moving the layer palette. So let's turn off the clicky copy. Watch what I do here. I'm going to hit the B key. I want to, I've taken all your folders that are in this here, and I've trashed them just for me. You don't have to, but I did. Okay, so what I want to do is make a new swatch group. Okay, I might not even yet. I want to see if something works. So I'm going to hit the B key, click to your layer right there, and hold Alt and sample that color. Now, watch how I get it in swatches. You used to be able to just click over here and it would appear, but now you have to go to click the foreground color and add to swatches. And I'm just going to say that this is the whole flower. So that's your whole flower. I just wanted you to see how to do this. Now, and I'll say, okay, see that? Now we have the whole flower. Look at how that says whole flower right there. Okay, now let's do F1. So I'm going to use the light red for F1. So I'm going to click to we're going to click to the clicky copy, and let's get the selection for the light red. So let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to make a selection of your flower each time over here in path, right? So now when I go into color range, it's going to be the same thing each time. Let us now choose this light red right there. And let's leave this at about 80 or 90. I'll leave it at 90. okay? And I'll just leave it at 90 for a while. And I'm going to say OK. Now, I want to save that swatch. So first thing to do is click, add to swatches, name it F1, and now we have it in swatches, and I'll just say OK. That seems the long way around. There has to be an easier way, but that's OK. So now I'm going to go to Save Selection as F1. So now, not only do I have, look at down here, not only do I have a channel for F1 and a layer for F1, but I have a color for F1. And that's what we're going to do each time. Okay, so I'm going to try to find 5 colors in that rows. Now watch how I do this. So I'm going to turn off the clicky copy. All right, I'll hit Control H to hide the selection just so you can see. Am I clicked on F1's layer? Yes. All I have to do is go Option Delete. Now there is your light reds. So now let's click up to the clicky copy. Let's go find the darker red. Okay, and that'll be F2. All right, I'm just picking those. I know there's 6 colors or so in there. Let's just do the dark red right now. So again, we make a selection of the flower. Are we selected on the clicky copy? Is it on? Answer yes. I forgot to turn it on. So now it's on. So now I'm going to I've made a selection of the whole flower path, so now I can go into color range, right? And in color range, let's just grab the, I'm not going to zoom in, let's just grab this dark red right here. And that's going to be good right there. So now let's click OK. Let's click that. Let's add to swatches and say F2. And say OK, and then say OK. Now, I'm going to turn off the clicky copy. Click to F2, hit Control H, and then hit Alt Backspace. So there is my dark. Okay, now I want to just Gaussian blur that by 1 Gaussian blur, just 1, because I can see pixels in there. I don't like that. So let's go to Filter, Blur. You know what? I had a selection still active. So I remembered that. You can't blur with a selection active or nothing will blur, right? So let's go Command or Control D to deselect. Now let's enter Gaussian blur. See, I almost made a mistake, but mistakes happen all the time. So let's go to 1 pixel, just 1 pixel, and click OK. Now that looks much better. It just feels better. Okay, so now we click to F3 in a minute. But now let's turn on the clicky copy. Let's click to the clicky copy, make a path of the whole thing, and let's get this darker brownish tone. Okay, I'll zoom in and show you what I'm talking about. This tone right here, this goldy brown tone. And I may have another color. See this yellowy color? We're going to do that last. So I may make another layer. Okay, so how do we do this again? We enter color range. Forgot where it was. And now let's zoom in and get this brownish tone right there. Now you see the nice selection. You know what? I never saved that other selection. Darn it. I never saved it. I can, though. I can save it. I'll show you. Well, I don't want to get too involved in here. So first let's go to save the selection as F3. Should have done that with F2, but I can fix it. F3. So now there is my F3, and you can see it down here. I have F1, F3, I don't have F2. I'll have it in a minute. So let me turn off the clicky copy. Let's save this color. So click, add to swatches, call it F3, Brian, and click OK, and then click OK. God, I don't like that, but that's the way it goes. Now I'm going to not hit Control H. Okay, I'm not, because well, okay, maybe I will. Okay, am I clicked on F3? Yes. Alt Backspace. Now there's your dark browns. Okay, now I need to deselect and go to Filter, Gaussian Blur on top, which right there, that means it's 1 Gaussian blur. Okay, perfect. Now we do, I'm going to show you how to save the selection for F2. So you see F2's layer? I'm going to Control click it. Now I have my selection back for F2. Now I can save it as F2. Now this is all because I want to stay organized, and I may need these. Now I'm going to move this up and put it between F1 and F3. Now I have it correct, okay? So now I'm going to deselect, and let's now keep on going. Let's turn on the clicky copy and click to it. Let us make a selection of the flower. Each time you have to make a selection of the flower. Let's grab this white. Let's just grab the whitish tone. There's actually two tones of white. You see it right there? There's this one that's underneath here, and then there's the white one. I think I'm going to grab this whitish one. I don't know which one I'm going to grab. I'm going to have two of them probably. Okay, so I'm going to grab this one right here. I'm grabbing it. So, but I need to enter color range. I forgot to enter color range. Sorry, I forgot to enter color range. So now I can grab the color. So let's go in and grab this color here. I'll raise this up a little bit like that. And now it's important to me to not only save this as F4, whoops, F4, but save the color as F4. Okay, so click, add to swatches. Let's name it F4. And now I have, look at my nice colors up here, and click OK. Now let's back off, turn off the clicky copy. Let's click to F4. All right, now I'm just going to hit Alt backspace. And now let me Control D the selection. Look at how pretty that is. Oh my God, look at how pretty that is. Look at how that's getting to be exactly where we want to be. Okay, so now I'm going to need to do a darker dark. Okay, let me show you. One of the last things I'm going to do, see this dark that's down here, right there? Watch when I turn off the clicky copy. I don't have it. I don't have that dark. So I'll get it after I do the bright color. So let's click to F5. I may only need just two more. So let's click to the, turn on the clicky copy, click to the clicky copy, Control click the white flower, enter color range. Let's zoom in and grab this bright color right here, and let's make it a little bit even more than 113, just so it gets more of that color. Okay, and then I'm going to need to, I want this yellowy color, so I will need, and I'll name it, F6 is going to be my dark, and F7 is going to be the yellowy color. That's fine, okay? So let's, now let's do our thing. Let's not get carried away. We need to turn off the clicky copy. We need to save this as, okay, F5. So I just needed to make sure. Save the selection as F5 and save the color as F5. There we go. And click OK, Brian, and now Alt backspace. And now look at how pretty that is. Now let's get back on it and let's go like this. Okay, I'm missing that reddish dark. You can see it. I'll show it to you real easy here. See this dark that I'm pointing at right along this base right here? Watch when I turn off the clicky copy. I don't have it. So let me try to get that color. Okay, I'm going to try. And I'm going to click to make sure I am on F6. I'm going to need another one. I'm even going to say F7 yellow, just so I know that's going to be F7 yellow. But let's go to F6 and get that dark. So let's do the same thing that we need to do every time. Turn on the clicky copy and click to it. Make a selection of the white flower. Enter color range. And let's get that dark that I talked about right there. Okay, right there. Now, I'll leave it up at 127 because I like what I'm seeing in this picture. Now let's save that selection as F6, right? That was F6. Yes. And let's save the color as F6. And now I'm going to click OK, and now I'll back off on it. This time I am going to hit Control H to hide the selection. Click to F6, Brian. Get your paintbrush, turn off the clicky copy. Let's hit Alt backspace. Oh my goodness, did you see what that just did? Look at how incredible that is. Look at how the darker one was the key here. That was the key. I mean, you can't even tell the difference now. So I'm going to click to the yellow. Let me deselect. Okay? Don't even have to Gaussian blur it, I don't think. Let's make a selection of the path. Click to the clicky copy, turn it on, enter color range, zoom in and grab this yellowy color right there. I'm going to really make it come up in value because I want some of that yellow. See, the higher I go, the more that it'll get of the other yellows. Do you follow what I'm saying? Okay, so now let's save that as, I'm going to double click this name and hit Control C. See how nice that is? Now I have it in my copy paste thing. Okay, so let's save the selection, and all I have to do is hit Control V. Now all I have to do is click the color and click Add to Swatches and hit Control V. Now wasn't that fast? And then click OK. Now I'm going to turn off the clicky copy, click to my F yellow 7 layer. Okay, let's now Control H the selection, and this time I don't want to just blast the paint in there. So look at it. I'm making my brush very big, and it's on, I'm going to put it to 10% flow. That's important. 10% flow. Right hand click and all the way soft. One more time. 10% flow. Right hand click. Okay, it's time to paint it. I have a big brush. Again, my flow was at 10. Somebody was at the door and I had to pause it. I'm sorry. And right hand click and all the way soft. Okay, so now you see this yellowish color that I'm talking about here and here and here. Let's see how well that's going to paint when I move up to here. So now I'm painting it, and I don't know if you can see that, but let me zoom in. I'm going to Control Z back so you see it go away. See how good that is? That is amazing. So let's now go put that in everywhere that we can find it. Okay, and this is really the key. Now I want to talk to you for a second. Okay, so watch how I take off these. Okay, so it almost doesn't matter what. I'm going to start with the whole flower. Okay, so you had the whole flower color. Now I'm going to show you one layer at a time the colors I saw. So I'm going to turn that off. I saw that red, right? That's the light red. I saw that dark. So that's the darker red. I saw the real darks. See that? So there was this dark, a lighter dark red, and the bright red to go along with your base color. So one more time. 1, this is F2, this is F3, this is F4, which was the yellow, which was the light brown. This was the white one. Here, let me turn this on. So see how that's the lighter value of the white? So I got, not only did I get a yellowy white, but the next one up is a white. So let me turn them all on now. And actually, I want to turn them off because I want to show you this. Look at how F5, didn't I put anything on F5? What did I do? F5, I might have messed up F5. What was F5? Let me make sure. F5, no, I didn't mess up. F5 was the white. That's why I couldn't see it. It was white on white. Okay, so I guess I got 3 kind of whites. I got this one, I got this one, and I got, oh, that's the dark. Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm just being crazy here. But I wanted you to see these from the ground up. Okay, so I'm going to leave this bottom one on. F1, F2, I'm turning them off so you can see. F3, F4, which was the first white, F5, which was the second white, F6, which was the real dark, which really did the number, then the yellowy stuff. So now with all of them on top of each other, look at that. I mean, you can't get any better than that. Let me turn off this little clicky copy right here, and now I want, and I'm going to turn on the main clicky copy. Let me put this back up here. I'm going to turn on the main one. So that's what I want you to do for each leaf. Now, how many greens do you see? I see 3 greens, right? Right? A light green, a medium green, and a dark green along with a white. So that's probably 4. Okay, now you're going to need a medium green. Remember I said that, right? And you already have the medium green in there. See it? Okay, so medium green, light green, dark green, black, or the super dark green. So there's 4 levels of green going from this light green to the dark. Then there's a little bit of white. So do the same thing that I did. But instead of the flower, when you're done, do the leaves. Okay? And that's what I want you to do.